It seems Brian belonged to a former family called the Hendersons. He discovered this after a man at an impound revealed that he was microchipped.
You and found your microchip.
I didn't know I was chipped.
Yep, so you can go back to your owners, the Hendersons of Bristol County.
This led Brian to go searching to find out information about the Hendersons because he had no memory of them. It turns out the family had reported him missing not long before Peter took him home. Brian went to check out the family, and this was where he realized he picked up his love for books, as Mr. Henderson was an author.
Write all these?
Yep, I've written one more book than James Patterson. He writes one, I write one more.
After the encounter, Brian wondered what his life would have been like if he had stayed with them, given that they were more sophisticated than the Griffins. But Brian realized life with the Hendersons was not exactly as the Griffins treated him, because he was, well, treated as a dog, not a family member. Peter ended up breaking into the Henderson home to get Brian back home because they missed him, and Brian was more than happy to go back.
Much rather be the smartest guy in a dumb family than the dumbest guy in a smart family.
Would we say you're the smartest guy in our family? You ever invent a time machine, Brian? Grow a brain, dick.
We could probably guess that Brian was unhappy with staying with the Hendersons and the way he was being treated, and that he decided to run away, ending up broke and hopeless, which was how Peter discovered him. So let's look at when Brian officially joined the Griffins. Peter met Brian, who was homeless and made money cleaning car windows. Peter had no change to give him and felt bad for Brian. He asked him to come home for food.
Because, my wife makes this beefaroni casserole out of this world.
That's how Brian got adopted and took on the name Griffin, officially become part of the family. Living with the Griffins, though, was a whole different experience. At first, Brian and Peter were best friends, doing almost everything together. Brian often played the voice of reason, helping point out Peter's reckless decisions, like the time Peter traveled back in time and nearly ruined the timeline by making out with another woman. It was Brian who stepped in and helped fix the mess. In another episode, Stewie created a simulation to test their bond by making Peter, Brian, Quagmire, and Joe lose their memories, while the others turned on Peter. Brian stood by him, even taking a bullet for him, proving how deep their friendship was. But despite their strong start, Brian and Peter's friendship faded over time. Especially as Brian grew closer to Stewie, things also got rocky when Peter found out Brian tried to sleep with Lois, which understandably led Peter to cut him off. And that brings us to Brian's complicated relationship with Lois. Not long after joining the Griffin family, Brian realizes he's in love with Peter's wife. This comes to light in the episode Brian in Love, where Brian starts peeing on the floor and visits Dr. Bruce Kaplan, a psychiatrist. Dr. Kaplan diagnoses him with a midlife crisis and encourages him to talk through his experiences. Brian eventually admits